I'm asking everybody the same questions. What did you see that you can't wait to get back to your campus and tell everybody about?
I know I have opinions, and that's always the thing because I get really excited about things I find, and then I go back and my team's like, that's not really solving a problem we have right now.
Well, great. Thanks for stopping by.
You just don't get it here.
We are coming to you from the Midwich stand in ISE 2026. We have a cavalcade of fantastic folks that are going to give us their take on this great global AV show. All that and more next on AV Week. This is AV Week, episode 755, recorded Friday, February 6, 2026, live from ISE 2026, Part 1. This is AV Week, your weekly wrap-up of the audio-visual news and information. My name is Tim Albright. I am your host. If you're listening, this actually might not sound that different because I'm still talking into an SM7B. Mm-hmm. But if you're watching, it certainly is different. We're coming to you from ISE 2026 in the fabulous Midwich booth, Midwich stand. So thank you, Mr. Neto.
AV on Air is something that we've been doing now for a bunch of years. It started as a folding table back in the day. It used to be called Base Camp. And to see the evolution to a place that actually has a door handle is pretty impressive.
It's pretty impressive. So thank you very much. That man right there is Chris Neto. Also with us is Erica Carrroll. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. And this is really a beautiful booth.
Yes.
Yeah, we focus on the hospitality. Yeah. There's a lot of cool tech out there. We represent a lot of brands as Midwich. Then the stands do a great job. We will obviously meet you here, take care of you here. But the goal here is to just use this as a kind of a meeting space for our vendors, for our end user customers and partners, and then we will let the real people who want to show off real tech do that at their booth.
All right, so what we're going to do next couple of weeks on AV Week, you're going to hear a round table of folks coming through and just telling us what they saw and what they experienced. So, Erica, of the three of us, you probably spent as much time as me walking the show floor. So what exactly did you see on the show floor that impressed you this year?
Oh, something that impressed me. Well, I was actually I've mentioned this multiple times. It's interesting how we're actually going backwards and simplifying things. There's an AV cart that literally just feels like an old school AV cart.
The one from Panasonic?
No.
Oh, okay.
The brand is called Artime.
Okay.
And they have partnerships with a couple of projector manufacturers. And they have a short throw version, and they have a longer throw projector option. But it all goes into one cart, so literally you just go and plug in the cart. And it's great for higher ed or even K-12.
Yeah.
So it has the projector in it. It has Bluetooth. It has easy control touch on the top. It has speakers built into it, a sub built into it. You can just go in, plug in your mic pack, and suddenly you have mic audio coming through it as well, so it's good for auditoriums and stuff like that. It just seemed like such a simple product with an awesome customer experience that I was really excited to see.
Well, yeah. Chris, I have joked with Erica because you have spent most of your time this week in this very booth. But if you have gone out, is there anything that you are just waiting to get back and tell your customers?
There's always something, and today's my day to actually walk around. So you're getting just what's in my head to go take a look at. There's a couple things. I've stressed the importance of audio this year. I think it's a trend that AV needs to be looking at because of its relevancy and importance in AI, the capturing of good audio, right? So I would like to go see what's out there in terms of audio. So I'll do a quick run through all the audio stuff. I also have been told by a couple of my colleagues to go check out what Shure has done with their new video bar, and I know it's another bar, but I kind of trust their idea behind audio, so I'd like to see what they're doing. So that I'll go over there and ask for my friend Troy Jensen to give me a tour. The other thing I like, and this started last year with a small little production of what Epson had with Alt, which is the LED tiles with the laminate above in front of it, the substrate, and being able to ghost images through. I love that. I remember in 2018 when I worked as a consultant liaison for Barco, consultant came in and said, here's this perforated wood, very thin wood panel. We're going to lay it over we want some light behind it. want to use LED, and the best we can do with the wood and the LED, and even we try to separate it out to get that really. The best we can do was looking like an analog clock, where things were like very single pixel looking.
Yeah.
Now this a lot smoother, a lot brighter. And from what I saw last year at 9 months ago at Infocom to what I see today, there already is an important like jump in it. Both Epson and there's a couple other competitors that are doing that in that same space. So that is something that I'm interested in for the wow factor. Kind of bored of seeing black, just black squares in offices and stuff. And now I guess this could be the trigger or the the spark that brings back the design of big lobby LED.
Yeah.
Because now you can make it look like wood or blend into the concrete when it's not on. So that gives our architects and designers something to look at. And third, I guess the last thing that I will be looking at is because I play in the broadcast space as well, and NAB is coming up. That's the next big show for us at Midwich US. I love to see the battle between the AV over IP versus the broadcast standards, the compressed versus the uncompressed, what delivers, what is not being delivered. I think that, and I've spoken about this 100 times. I love seeing that. That's popcorn, right? A good battle, right? The sad part is like they both play baseball. They're both on the same field, except they can't figure out, what the actual rules are of the game. Because somebody wants to play with an extra, one wants the DH and the other one doesn't.
Yes.
This is the best analogy I can come up with. This is very national versus American League.
Yeah.
They're both in the same conversation. It's just how they're delivering it and how much the size of the pipe. So the pipe for delivery. So AV over IP wars, as I've been saying, is interesting, and it's very foundational. Very AV foundational conversation. It's not sexy. It's not as pretty as the display that turns into a wall, wood wall again. But it is essential. And I think what I look for in tech right now is there's so much buzz around AI, so much buzz around all this other kind of buzzwords, and every year there's buzzwords. I really believe that what we really gotta do, and the things that kind of really get me excited, is to see that we're actually fixing the cracks in our foundation, building a stronger foundation. Yeah, AI is a conversation. You want to make it cool, there's things that have to get done before we get to that. And it's good to see that that's still being worked on by a lot of folks.
Erica, what's the overarching theme of ISE 2026 for you?
For me, I think it's been just experience and customer experience. I've seen a lot of smaller manufacturer booths who are coming out with products that focus on the experience first and the technical details second. And I think that we're going to see that reemerge with other manufacturers too. I mean, everybody loves the specs. We can all drown in spec sheets, but it's really refreshing when you go to a booth with something as simple as like a USB switcher, and they're actually concerned about the experience that's on the table first. How is somebody going to use the product? And oh, by the way, it enables them to do this and use the room and all of that. So I would say it's the actual user experience.
Neto?
Yeah, I guess user experience, simplification of that. Everybody has a name that floats above their booth, right? You fly the flag, right? And for a bunch of years, it all started to just fade to look alike. And I think that is the big differentiator. And if you're gonna, the customer experience, yes, I think what we've learned about commoditization of things is that it needs to be simplified. It needs to be simplified for, as a distributor, how we move product. It needs to be simplified that, you don't need 1,000 TVs or 1,000, widgets that have that all do different things. You can pretty much bring that down to maybe 5 SKUs. And I think as a distributor, we're looking at products that are becoming more all-in-one, easier to use. And the one thing I absolutely love, and I keep hearing it more and more and more, and at one point, Joe Way used to be like, AV as a service must die.
Yeah.
That's changed. But one of the things that I kind of dig is that maybe the ecosystem is finally starting to show its cracks that I've been watching. So the ecosystems during that time of the pandemic was great that you had everything that worked and everything needed to be one, but if one component in that piece missed,
Yeah.
when you throw in the fact that we had shipping and delays back then, it broke the ecosystem, and it changed my opinion of the ecosystem. To see now more conversations of strategic alliances. Nothing makes me happier, and this is just me being an AV romantic when it comes to this. Nothing makes me happier than to see a company with their name, and then here's the people we all partner with to get it done.
Yeah.
That friendship works
Yeah.
better than mine is better than yours, right? That's not going to work. And I think the strategic alliances is very important going forward. I'm seeing a lot more of that. I can see other people's brands appear more, and it's not just from a marketing standpoint. They're legitimately saying, hey, you can build the camera, you build the speakers, we build a great display, you build great speakers, let's work together, let's make them all together, and you know what, let's make them plug and play.
Yeah.
That's part of the user experience, so there's a connected to that.
Yeah,
So it's wild how to connect the two, but yes, ecosystems, you keep that, give me alliances, partnerships where the actual engineers are actually talking and figuring things out. Then you got a great unifier like NetSpeak that's out there doing their thing to kind of bring everybody together.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that I want to see, and I think that's what we're seeing more and more happen.
Erica, what surprised you this week?
What surprised me? Well, this is my first ISE, so it's huge.
It is.
I didn't know exactly how big it would be, you know, coming from going to Infocom for so many years, and people say how big ISE is, and you know, it's so many halls. But once you get here, it's like minimum 15,000 steps every single day. There's 8 halls, and there's so much to see, and I think it was interesting to me to see how many people from North America were here. Shout out to my Canadian friends who were in abundance here.
The AV.
The AVEHV. That was good. So yeah, it was just the people in the representation I think was good, and I think it's all friendly on the floor where you end up seeing a lot of the same or similar products, but from all different areas of AV, and more importantly, there's a lot of companies that aren't in the US, which was really cool from my perspective to see how innovation is evolving in the rest of the world, and hoping to see some of that come over.
Yeah, I am too. And then one of the things I find interesting that Mike Blackman and the ISE team have done since Chris and I first started coming 11 years ago now, by the way, you realize that?
Yeah.
It's almost like a dating service for manufacturers who are looking to get into other markets, and representatives from those markets going, oh, I need one of those. I need one of those, right? And taking that back home with them.
Yeah.
Chris, why do you come to ISE?
Well, to touch on what you're saying, I was attached to somebody this week. So Tony Fergali, who was our national accounts manager, was his first.
Yeah.
Bright-eyed, you know, deer in headlights. What am I walking into? And Tony, I prepped him, I coached him, I did as much as I could to come, and you know, he had been to Barcelona once on a day trip, and it wasn't like he didn't understand. And then he walked in and he's like, oh, what a lobby. I'm like, there's about 8 more halls that we got to go to, dude. Let's keep going. The sheer size, right? It really got to him. And then discovering the in and outs. I mean, the one, and a lot of people talk about the good things, and I'll give you my boo-hoo. It's still very tough to navigate Barcelona. To get out of here to go places, you have to account for time. And fortunately, the Spanish like to eat late, so a 9 o'clock dinner may work when you're leaving at 6 o'clock from a convention center.
Yeah.
But you need to judge, can I stop and take a quick shower before I go? That's still very difficult, whether you're on the metro, whether you're on the bus, whether you're on a taxi, and it's complicated. That's still an issue. All the things that we do, that was my boohoo. But why do I come? I work for a global organization, and to see global in Northwest Indiana is not the easiest. You know, I don't even see global when I'm sitting in my office in New Jersey, which is my home office. To go on my show floor, you know, the show floor here at my booth at any given time, first of all, we've had a massively busy booth. We use it as a hospitality station. So to go on there, and at any given time, there's 15 different languages being spoken. I don't get that at Infocom, not at my booth. To have 15 different languages or 16 different languages, and those are just our companies. From everybody's got a representation here. This is our big global stand. In the U.S., it will be international because it's SFM and us together representing North America there. But here, we got our offices from the Netherlands. You got a couple offices in Spain, Portugal, Italy. They're all here. So to me, it's a good reminder. Coming here reminds you of the bigger picture. And I've always been a long game guy. So even with working with like a company like CTI does great business with us in the U.S. Now we have to step out and help them. We want to be a help for the global expansion, and others are doing global expansion as well. There are the intricacies that happen in a global space that people can't put together, right? It's not as easy as just turning on the light sometimes. You need help. And coming to a show, listening to the struggles that another part of the world has that is not a struggle for us, and then how we can maybe help them and they can help us. That bigger picture. That's something that people don't realize at home. You're doing an install for, a bank, and that bank is international. You don't realize that is going to be copied and become a bigger spec. And that is, you see it here. Here you see that expansion, that growth.
Yeah.
So that to me is why I come. I have outgrown New Jersey. I may have outgrown America. I don't know. But to come here and listen to everybody and get a better idea, and culturally understand some things.
I think in person too, it helps to build relationships. There's
100%.
people that I met in person here that I have known for 10 years, but only as a virtual face on the other side of the screen.
Yeah.
There are people that I only meet internationally.
Yeah.
It seems like I said Troy Jensen's name from Shure. I only see him outside the country. It's so bizarre. I'm like, he's in Chicago. Yeah. And I'm in Chicago 4 or 5 times a year, at least in the first half of the year.
Yeah.
But our schedules never work. But I'll run into him at IBC. I run into him at UC Expo. I'll run into him here. It's so wild. Then I'll see him at Infocom. Yeah. That's the one time I really can guarantee that I'll see them. But outside of that, the people, like you said, you've seen a lot of North Americans here. Your Canadian contingency came here in full force. They're showing that they're still doing the business.
Yeah.
They have their reasons, and I can respect that. But they did show up in force here, and the gathering that was done out in that little the garden was great because I got to see a lot of those guys and people from the industry and that I didn't see at Infocom. So it was good. I love the global community, and obviously social media has expanded me beyond the borders. So I love to come out here, see people that I've only met, on the social side, and that's me fanboying out because there's people I never got to see. And our friend from Uganda was here.
Yes.
And he comes over every
Boaz.
ISE. Boaz comes over and says hi. To me, I keep telling him he's the biggest integrator in Uganda. He may be the only integrator in Uganda, but you know what? But he is here, and he comes with a team, and he really, it's an example. He takes advantage of a show like this, brings his crew, gets all the everything he needs to do, and this is his one big show. So I got to respect that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
real quick, this show is both so big and so small, which I appreciate. On Wednesday, I ran into somebody I went to high school with.
What?
Yeah.
That's okay. I ran
Yeah.
into a fraternity brother of mine.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, there
it's
you go.
amazing.
All right, Erica Carrroll, thank you so
Yes.
much. How do people connect with you?
You can find me at theericacarrroll.com. It's the easiest way. It gets you everywhere.
Mr. Neto.
Chris.Neto at midwich.us is my email. Chris Neto, Chris_Neto on Twitter is where I've done my damage. But on LinkedIn, that's where I want you to come get me. Christopher Neto, CTS. I still have the 3 little letters at the back of my name. I'll be doing some raps. I haven't done any posts socially because time zones are off, man. I can't figure out what time it is. Every time I sit down, I know that my email starts working late at night.
There you go.
I know that for a fact. It's blowing up. I need to get to sleep. But Mr. Albright, where can they find you?
I'll do that at the end. This is the first half of the episode. So.
Ah, look at that. We're doing cuts and swipe. Look how fancy you get, dude. This is awesome. Well, I appreciate you having me on, man.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
Hey, listeners, it's your AV sneakerhead, Jennifer Weaver. Listen to AV Career Masterminds, where I chat all things job related in the audio-visual industry. You can find AV Career Masterminds where you subscribe to podcasts.
All right, second section here, Erin Maher-Moran from Johns Hopkins. Welcome, ma'am.
Thanks for having me.
And my buddy Steve Greenblatt from Control Concepts. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am well. Erin, I'm asking everybody the same questions. What did you see that you can't wait to get back to your campus and tell everybody about?
NetSpeak.
Okay.
That is one of the things that is really intriguing me right now. So I am looking forward to taking it back to my team and being like, hey, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
I know I have opinions, and that's always the thing because I get really excited about things I find, and then I go back and my team's like, that's not really solving a problem we have right now. But I think that there's some interesting possibilities.
Okay.
So,
Steve?
It's hard to say what I see in terms of products, other than the fact that new products are coming out, which is great. And in past years we've seen a lot of incremental updates, and I think that finally seeing new products coming out. Well, one thing, and it was an announcement before the show, but we meet with a lot of manufacturers to talk about how to integrate with control platforms. So QSYS has their library, which has been a big talk amongst manufacturers.
Yeah.
So why is that important? And I don't want to promote just them. It's a place for programmers and integrators to look to be able to say that products will be compatible with a control platform, and there's a verified integration there, and that's our world, but it's something that I think manufacturers are taking a lot more notice to, which benefits everybody.
Well, it's your world, but it does impact everybody from the manufacturers all the way down to the IT and the AV manager. Why is that?
So for many years, we've relied on giving a programmer a system and say, go make it work. and I've been in that world, and we've all been in that world, and it's and that was good for some time, but right now we need to get projects done quicker. We need to go at scale. We need to also know that a product is going to do what it says it can do, and this way there's something proven and supported and also endorsed by the manufacturers. So there's a lot more skin in the game to ensure that we just don't go with an API and give it to a programmer and say, go at it.
Yeah. Erin, what was the overarching theme of ISE 2026 for you?
It was collaboration and really getting working together, putting all the pieces and parts together. I feel like that has been the overarching theme.
All right. Steve?
Well, the show's really well attended, so that's a good thing,
Yeah.
and I think that's a good sign for the industry. That's a good sign for the fact that trade shows are still important. I think that the fact that we all need to work together to kind of figure out what the future is, and that's kind of what I took away from this.
All right. Erin, what surprised you most about this week?
Well, I honestly, having two booths at this show
Explain that.
has been a lot. So this year HETMA had not only a booth here at the Fiera Gran Via, we also had a booth at the older Fiera for the EdTech Congress, and which was a Spanish-speaking predominantly show. So for those in the States that are familiar with EduCause, it was much more of a show similar to that. So it was challenging in that the language barrier was a bit there, but just the manpower of splitting our teams up and trying to keep everything covered was a lot, but it was absolutely worth it and fantastic, and wouldn't have done it any other way.
All right. Steve, what was the thing that surprised you this week?
That's a good question. I can't say anything truly surprised me.
Okay.
I feel I think that there's good excitement, and there's honestly what people are talking about as far as the projection numbers, is really exciting.
Yeah, let me
surprising.
clarify that. We're recording this on Friday. at roughly 11 o'clock CET.
Yeah.
We have no idea.
Yeah.
Mike Blackman and a couple of the folks, Tobias Lang, posted a social post on LinkedIn where they made a bet that if it hits 100,000, they're going to shave their beards.
Wow.
I don't know the last time I saw Mike without a beard. It's been a minute. And so the pre-show press conference that Erin and I were at on Tuesday morning, they said pre-registration numbers were up 10% year over year. If that follows through, they have a good chance of getting close to 100,000, but not over. In other words, if last year it was in the 80,000s, 10% more than that, you put you in the 90s. But who knows? I think that the press of people, Wednesday of this show is always the busiest. It was the busiest one this week.
Yeah.
Thursday was still quite packed. I agree with you. It was quite a number.
Yeah, it's I mean it's a good sign, and
Yeah.
I think that our industry seems to be thriving if you're measuring it by that.
Yeah. Erin, why do you attend? And I asked that. The first group was Americans. The three of us are Americans. I will have some Europeans on in the second episode. But we're sitting here. We've all attended Infocom, and that's what we attended for years. I was talking to Chris Neto in the first part of this. He and I have been coming to ISE. Well, I've been coming. He and I's first ISE, because we did it together, was in 2015. So we've been doing this for 11 years now. I know you've been doing this for a long time.
For some time, yeah.
Why do you come, Erin?
Yeah, I mean, I love the global influence.
Okay.
I love getting it, plus the timing. I mean, the timing of this show is fantastic for higher ed because I can get to see things that could potentially make it into my projects this year. But otherwise, I mean, just getting to see other people from other countries and get to talk to them and find out, the things that they're going through, how they're solving certain problems. It's so valuable, and I love doing that. And I loved that this year there was a couple hour Women in AV collective program with a keynote and panel, and it was wonderful. It was absolutely fantastic.
Steve?
I couldn't miss the show. I mean, this is the quality. I tell this to everybody, and it's hard to really put it into perspective if you only go to Infocom. But it's a different vibe. It's a different setting. You sit down and have conversations with people. It's not a flyby.
Yeah.
It's not a 15-minute max meeting, and things get discussed, and you get to know people, and you get to build a relationship, and you get to. There really is. There's quality conversations that lead to opportunities, and it just Infocom is great, and I get to see people in different people there, and that serves its purpose. But for us, this is where we do business.
Yeah. All right. Erin Maher-Moran, how do people connect with you or HETMA?
Yeah, so as for me, you can always find me on LinkedIn or on the HETMA community, and you can find all information about HETMA at hetma.org.
All right. Mr. Greenblatt, how do people connect with you or Control Concepts?
Control Concepts at controlconcepts.net. LinkedIn is the best place. That's where everybody's hanging out these days.
It is.
And also hope to stay tuned for the reboot of A State of Control, which will be on AVNation.tv.
We are working tirelessly on that.
Right, yeah, and you can always find me monthly on the EdTech podcast.
That's true. That is also true. The fact that both of us forgot that is a bit... It's been a long week, Erin.
Yes,
And I should give a shout out to Ask the Programmer with
absolutely
James
should.
King. So.
Yes. For Tim Albright, don't follow me anywhere, but go by the website, avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv. You will find these two programs, State of Control and EdTech, as well as many others. Obviously, find all of our coverage of ISE 2026 on our landing page there. If you're interested in things that I write about that have nothing to do with AV technology, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. But go by the website, if you would please, avnation.tv. It's avnation.tv. Thanks so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. That is all the time we have for AV Week.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
This is AV.
This
This is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
Hello, this is Steve Greenblatt, host of AVNation's A State of Control podcast. Each month, Rich Fregosa and I explore trending topics related to control, programming, and automation in the audiovisual industry. We speak with a variety of AV professionals who share their perspectives, knowledge, and experiences. Please join us for this monthly conversation. Check out A State of Control on avnation.tv or wherever you get your podcasts.